Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Wing and a Prayer Fellowship. I'm Lance Parv, and I can't even talk today. With me in studio, John Grip, as promised. He's feeling better. You feeling good today, John?
Yeah.
That says I can't help with the being old thing. Today, John's going to give you his testimony. We had him on the show a few weeks back, but there were some technical difficulties. Who knows what's going on? So, John, without further ado, give a little background of your story. What happened?
Which story are we talking about?
Well, any story that you wanted to. Why don't you, I guess you could start with the dream. Let's start with the dream that you had.
Oh, the end of the world thing.
That's the one.
Went to bed, and in my mind, I see it was. This is hard to explain. It's like all of a sudden, the world was being turned upside down in a way of, how can I say this? All right, from the Midwest, when you're out tilling the fields, how the blades of the massive tills just chew up the ground, and you've got corn stalks and everything on one side. After they've run through, it's all dirt and that. The earth looked, when you look out at a far distance, it was like the ground was being tilled. And everything in its path was destroyed and people were killed. So people were constantly moving. And when they, so many people would get to a certain area and there'd already be people there. People were killing people for space, kicking them out, others picking up and running. And the only way to survive was to keep running, because no matter where you stopped, it would eventually show up. And there was no end to it. And when I woke up, in my mind, this was one of those dreams that I was there, and this for years. And when I woke up, I was terrified, and I couldn't believe that I was home in bed. And my wife was, holding my arms, and like, you were swinging your arms, you hit me. And the last thing I remember was fighting people to get through a building because the front of the building was coming apart. And there were people there. And I was trying to get my family out the back. And in reality, I'd only been asleep maybe an hour or so. But in my mind, it was like I sat for the longest time, and I'm trying to explain it to my wife, and she's like, what's the matter? I'm like, I'd never experienced anything like that before.
And it's hard to conceptualize a dream. It's hard to conceptualize an experience, and a lot of times, God does communicate with people in dreams. He has since the Bible when he talks about Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar, and that's how Daniel was able to understand what Nebuchadnezzar saw. He was given that dream. And like you said, it's different from in the past when you've had a dream. You're like, okay, whatever, maybe it's my subconscious letting go. It's a different time now where you're like, no, this wasn't just a normal dream. Like,
and this came after the refinding of my faith and the projects that we're involved in and producing for you, and the talks that we've had, and me coming back to the realization that God didn't forget me. Growing, the children's home and I never had, I always, nobody cared. And when it finally realized he does care, the losing of my brother just recently, but being okay because I know he's with God. So I know he's at peace, finally. And the whole new general feeling of, I don't worry about dying anymore. It doesn't scare me. I don't care. And I guess people don't understand that, but I really don't care, because now I look forward to it because I can't wait to get out of the meat suit.
Yeah.
Okay? And maybe that's why I was given the vision, because of the way that I think now. It shook me up. It was one heck of a reality check. I wish there was something I could say, watch this movie or look at these pictures, but there's nothing to compare at the devastation and the total annihilation of everything.
Yeah.
And you stand there and you see it coming.
Well, and that's an interesting way of putting it, because you cannot share. You can share experiences in your faith, but you can't share your faith. You can't give someone else your faith. You've gotten to the point you've gotten to because of the experience that you've gone through, and it is a very simple answer to someone. It's seek Christ, seek Jesus. And people have a hard time with that. They go, all I have to do is seek Jesus. I go, because he is the way. People think it has to be this complex
But you got to
thing.
believe in it to seek it.
Of course. And
Okay.
that's, you got it.
And, you know, I've been the luckiest guy in the world. What I've done, where I've been, who I've been associated with. But I was never happy. That's a whole different story in itself. All the people that I've rubbed elbows with and worked, toured with, and what have you. You know, all the friends that I've lost, all the rock stars that have died. You know, good friends of mine. Living in their world, not actually being them,
Yep.
but being the closest to their world as possible. And for losing everything, I'm happier than ever been before.
It's such a weird, it's a strange thing. It's a weird thing. It's
no,
simplicity.
it takes getting used to.
Yep.
So, and it just hit me now when we talk. Maybe that's the reason I finally got that message, because I was ready to understand it.
God's precise. We're
You
not.
know,
It's not on our timing.
Okay. I mean, you know, when I die, I'll find out. Did you get the message?
Yep.
You know, was that what it was?
No.
Yeah. I wish I could share it, but I don't think anybody believed me. You actually, it's one of the things you have to, it's like near drowning. You know? I nearly drowned when I was a little kid getting across something that I should have never tried. And somebody, thank the Lord, you know, it wasn't my time, swam out and got me. But that feeling, you can't share that with anybody.
No.
You can't tell them how terrifying that is when the moment hits you like, I'm going to die.
An experience.
Now, sure, I'll be scared, I guess, when it happens. But yeah, I figured the last words out of my mouth was, Lord, please take me. You know?
Well, that's why Jesus takes the sting of death, because it's no longer, you have a lot of people who don't believe. When they're prideful and they have all their power and their money, it's fine. When you get closer to your mortality and you get sick, you realize real quickly the money, the power,
you don't
the
have
other stuff.
anything.
You have nothing. You're naked.
Yeah.
In a way, you're naked before him.
If it's... And I was there. I was the material guy at one time. Made and lost maybe 4 fortunes. But maybe that's why I don't care about it anymore. Because you know what? The more you have, the more everybody wants to take. The more people, you know, and the realization that, you know, it's a sad world. Everybody lies to everybody. But there's hope. Finding you. You changed my life and my wife. You gave me my faith back. I had lost it. You gave me the path to find it again. And I'll forever be grateful for that.
Jesus did all the work. I'm just here.
Well,
I've got a lot to...
You're very humble.
I'm a messenger.
But, yes, you are.
It's interesting. Again, you start seeing... I started seeing that I was here for other people and so on. And
I think we all are, but there's
Absolutely.
only those that understand, okay, and those that people actually listen to. And for some reason, I started listening to you. Well, I know why. We know why, we met and how we met.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we would have never met or been friends if we bumped each other on the street. I doubt very much.
But there's no chance.
But, so, It's funny how things
It's
go.
always funny how God's precise. It's funny when you look back on your life, and this is why people start to have clarity, because you realize there's no chance, luck, or coincidence. And then you look back on your life and you go, oh. And that's why when we go through an experience at the time, really until we find the Lord, when you're going through something, you go, wait a minute, what am I worrying about? I'm supposed to learn from this. In the past, when we didn't have that and we thought we were doing it ourselves, now we can look back on those experiences and goes, oh, I started to understand why I was going through this and what I was supposed to learn from it now. Having this awareness now, you can look at stuff you're going through currently and say, well, wait a minute, he's never lost control. I just have to understand why he's walking me through it. He's not leaving me alone. He's not trying to hurt me. It's for a learning experience, even though we might not understand it.
I don't think people understand that he's walking alongside.
No.
That one song where Footprints in the Sand,
Yep.
That was very intense to me, the part about where, when the Lord tells him, well, that's where I carried you. Okay? Everybody's out there running around and we screw up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I, how often do you sit down and go, Lord, could I have a little help here?
No.
Because I talk to him all the time. I have people come up and go, are you all right? And I go, yeah, I'm having a conversation with God. You want to come in? Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay,
Yeah, I do the same thing. I feel off. I'm like, Lord, I want to be away from you for a second. I'm talking to him all day long because you start to understand. He never left. He was always here.
Well, I'm still having that problem with so many people, so many problems. The guy's got to get a break, okay? And I know he's disappointed, or he's got a sense of humor.
He definitely has a sense of humor.
Because he's got to look down and go, boy, I buy him books, I send him to school, I miracles, and most of them still aren't getting this.
Yeah. No.
But I'm working on it.
That's good. Do you have any advice for people out there from just your personal...
Oh, God.
Anything
I'm
you
the
could tell
last
some...
one you want to
well,
listen to.
I mean, listen, you have experience. That's why. Your testimony does it.
I got experience screwing up.
Well, so do I. Right? You're saying I helped you. So again, believe me, our mistakes help someone else from making them.
Yeah, if they listen. If they listen.
Yeah.
It's like your kids. Listen to me. I was there. It doesn't work. Take the turn and go the other way. I can do it. Years later, I should have listened to you. I was just as bad. I did the same thing with my step-parents. But everybody complains. I was in 29 different foster homes. And this is by the age of 5. My brother and I were split up. Didn't know I had a brother till my late 30s. Didn't meet him till I was 48. Lewis, the one who I dearly miss, because after we met, we talked every day. Don't know what it's like to love a dad or a mother. Did find my father. Did find my half-brothers. Big family. Realized the big family concept was really dumb because they don't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
They're spread out all over Canada. Go, will you get together? No. I'm like, well, that just blows that off.
Yeah.
But I did meet my father, and I found out the reason. And I give that one to the guy up above because it had to have been him that guided me through to find that. Because I never even wanted to find my mom. But it was important to me to meet my dad. He answered the question, and I didn't even ask him. That changed my life. So, I guess I could be really pissed off at everybody in life and that, but working for Elvis and all the I've had a great time, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go back and change it for anything. Rather than, I wish I'd gone back and spent some more. I had one day with my dad. But I'm sure I'll see him again. And my mother. And we'll do what it is, I guess, kids and parents do. So, I understand. I look at kids that are out there, and especially abandoned runaways. I know what it's like. And maybe one day, we'll start a ranch somewhere for kids to have a safe place to be.
Yeah.
And, learn about, because, my first thing with God was baptism, and then the church kicked him out, so I got mad at the church. I go, never went.
Yeah.
So things have been, my life's been different.
Yeah.
So here I am going on 62. I meet you. We're sitting in the Elvis booth.
Yeah, imagine that, sitting in Elvis's booth.
We now have our own
interview.
studio.
Well,
And we have a network. We have a radio show. We got all kinds of stuff.
God works in mysterious ways.
Oh, it's hard to keep up.
I know. Well, if it does, he'll keep you busy. There's
like,
plenty of work to do.
Oh, I tell him, I go, give me a break. Yeah, you're going to give me the heart attack.
The harvest is many, the laborers are few. So, well, thank you again for stopping by today.
Stopping by, I had to. We had a show to do.
Well, he's the producer too, so he's doing multiple things at
my
one
God.
time. That's so funny. Thanks, John. I really appreciate it, and believe me, you're doing great things on the show and in life.
Trust in the little voice that you hear when you go to make a decision. Because to me, I think that's him going, don't. And then when you don't listen, you got nobody to blame but yourself. But life's fun.
Yeah, you heard it here first, people. We'll see you next time on a Wing and a Prayer Fellowship. God bless. Have a great day.